Let's talk about the more holistic introverted feeling, authenticity. I think I resonate with this one a lot.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I almost feel bad doing the talking on it because I think, I want to
do it so I can resonate. I want to hear it and resonate as you talk it out. Let's do it.
I want to punt the ball over to you as soon as we describe it. So Dario calls the holistic introverted feeling or authenticity energy the romantic. And he has kind of some flowery language around it. He's like, oh, the romantic, right? He says this person is particularly existential. And I think it's because it is a life of deep, quiet feeling, full of stories and moments and everything having its own beauty and its own sorrow. Like it's a life, it's being tapped into how all of life is making the person feel. That's the really introspective element. When I say that not everybody who has the function is particularly introspective, it's because the analytic version of introverted feeling or authenticity isn't always particularly introspective. It knows it's one thing, or it knows the thing that it's almost like, this is what I was put on earth to do, so I'm going to go do it. The romantic or the holistic version is introspective. It's very connected with all of the experiences and all of the dramas of life and what it tells about the person, or tells oneself about oneself. And I think the major difference here is that there isn't a consistency of showing up. In fact, it's the exact opposite. It almost feels fickle. It feels like every situation is a completely new, it's like a new opportunity for me to show up as a different part of myself. And so instead of having this like rigorous consistency of behavior and values and all that stuff, it actually celebrates the variety. It celebrates all the different aspects and all the different, that this situation brought this out in me and this situation brought this out in me. And so there's a complexity of engagement and interaction, and there might not be a consistent persona, right? There might be like, again, a more chameleon-like presence.
By the way, we are starting something very new here at Personality Hacker. Now, you might be listening to this years from now, and so it's something that's gone on for a while, but as of the time of this recording, it's fairly new. We're starting up an experience of our podcast live once a week online in a virtual format. So what we're doing is we're gathering a group of like minds to come together once a week to watch this podcast together. And then right afterward, we have a membership program where people can come. It's called a personality quest. And we talk about the podcast right afterward. We unpack the learning from it, how we can apply it to our lives. And then we give the entire group of people that have gathered an assignment or a challenge for that week, some journal prompts and some reflection, but also a challenge that week to go test out in their real life, to go explore in the world. All of us are going to do the same challenge that week. And we come back the following week, we talk about it, unpack it, and we get the learning from it. And every week getting together to do this, we've already been doing a few weeks. It's been fantastic. I've loved doing it. It's awesome to see people come and gather live to watch the podcast, talk about it, and go do challenges in their own lives. You should be a part of this. If you're listening or you're watching, we want you to be part of it. Currently, we're doing it on Sundays. You can find out more information to be part of Personality Quest if you come over to personalityhacker.com/quest, and you can learn all about the quests and what we're doing there and get yourself involved, because I think you're going to love this experience, especially if you've loved the podcast and you love personality types and personal growth and the intersection of those two things. It's one of the things that I am super excited about going forward with. So, and there's going to be some live elements to that. And there's a whole bunch of stuff that we've got planned around this. But right now we're just starting with these weekly gatherings, and I'd love for you to be involved. Yeah. This trips you up when you're running a business, by the way, and you're more invested in the success of people that come and work with you, and you're trying to find a win-win. I'm not speaking from personal experience at all. And you're seeing this person, you're saying, well, I can't just have them work with us and help build what we're doing. We also have to make sure we match and make sure they're getting just as much value for their own life or whatever they're interested in too. It has to be a perfect win-win. The challenge is that's diffused energy then. Mm-hmm. It doesn't capture the value and how building towards something. You end up working on behalf of all these other satellite energies all the time, and nothing ever really gets accomplished, in that energy. So you have to really work hard to not continue to send that energy out and bring it in-house from a business standpoint.
Yeah, it's hard to get traction.
Personal experience.
Right.
That's something you have to overcome.
When everybody is being honored equally in every capacity, including all the different parts of yourself and all
Yep.
the different parts of everybody else. That is very diffuse energy.
It's very inefficient. Let's put it that way.
Exactly.
It's the most inefficient thing ever.
Yep. And there's all these different voices and feelings that come up every day. And the holistic version says, I'm just going to be, right? I'm just going to roll with it. And so there's not a lot of opportunity for traction there if you're just rolling with everything all the time. Dario mentions that this person might have many soft quests, multiple soft quests, a lot of fingers and a lot of different pies, and subtly diverse identities, even within a single relationship. Right? That also makes me think of you.
Yeah. I think I definitely have a holistic version of this, of authenticity. And I resonate with it deeply, and pretty much everything you've said so far.
Yeah. So there's a lot of beautiful things here. There's a lot of understanding different feelings and making room for them. Emotional processing is a little easier. I think that's the holistic version of introverted feeling or authenticity that is more in touch with emotional processing and release and that sort of thing, as opposed to the analytic that might bottle it up, right? Or might try to use it in behalf of the crusade. This is the one that's more in touch with feelings on an individual, deep personal level. But as you can imagine, this can also be a bit of a wishy-washy person.
Yeah.
Right. There's no real strong, roots, or not roots. It's like there's no ballast, I guess. And if you're so many different things, at many times of the day, like, how do you build on that?
Yeah.
I don't, this thing made me feel this way, so I guess I'm not going to do that anymore. Even though it made me feel differently yesterday, I'm not going to do it today. Well, it's like, how do you, at the worst, it's absolute worst, how do you hold down a job then? Right.
Yeah.
So it's the opposite of successful.